Hey guys, welcome to your general tarot reading for March 2018. I know some of you missed me in February. Thank you so much for your calls, for your messages. Those of you who are connecting with me via Instagram and really supporting me during that time, it means a lot. I needed some time out to really go through some changes and transitions that were happening in my own life. I've moved home, for example, but also just doing some really deep spiritual healing, shadow work in order to really clear myself, to become a greater channel of, intuition, compassion, and guidance, both towards myself and everything that's going on in my personal life, but also to really impact this space and to be of great service to you. I feel like things have gone to the next level for me personally, and so naturally I felt like this space needed to reflect that. And so I'm changing the spread that I normally do away from the emphasis so much on like what our wants and desires are, towards a more soul-based, kind of purpose-based focus, because I feel like we can pursue our desires. We can pursue, from at that ego level or personality level, we can pursue the things we really want, get them, and still feel dissatisfied or still be chasing the next thing. So I feel like it's a bit broader for us now. I think we're ready to deal with the soul growth, the karmic lessons, the personality transformation, to make room for our true soul selves. And so hopefully you really vibe with the way that I'm going to do the spread. I am playing it by ear, all intuition, all channeling. So we'll see how that feels and just vibe with each other how we normally do. As always, if you would like a personal reading with me, you can get that at my website, nicoleblack.com/services. And you can work with me either in person, you can get video call from me, and you can also get an MP3 tarot podcast from me. So 3 different ways of connecting. So go and check out the website if you would like something personal, nicoleblack.com/services. And for now, we're going to get straight into your reading. Cancer, you have to excuse my chipped nails. I was either going to do my nails or your reading, and I chose your reading. Okay, so let's get into it. Spirit, I just bless this reading. I thank you for all Cancers who are connected to me in every timescape. I just ask that this will be a reading that is full of blessing, peace, light, truth, wisdom, that will set us all on our highest path, Ashe. Okay. My Cancer loves, you guys have really been pressuring me for a reading, huh? I was actually meant to be doing Capricorn next, but I just was like, okay, I need to just get them done. I'll feel better when I've done the Cancer reading. So here we are. Who are you showing up as this month? What's your energy this month? What character are you playing in your life, out in the world? First 2 cards. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, 6 of Wands in reverse, I like. Can we get one more, Spirit? Can I get one more for Cancer? I'll show you all the cards when I'm done. Is this your energy, Cancer? Yes. Page of Pentacles and 6 of Swords in reverse. Okay. What's the context for this energy? What's the context for my Cancers? Okay. These cards came out in a different order, but for Geminis. But you see the Ace of Pentacles and the Emperor. What's the context for Cancers? What's the context for these energy for the archetype of Cancer, Spirit? What's happening with Cancer? 2 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. 4 of Wands in reverse. What's the spiritual lesson for Cancers this month, Source? First card, Page of Cups in reverse. Interesting, Taurus got this card. What's the spiritual lessons for Cancers this month? What are you teaching us? How are we being stretched? How are we growing? 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Taurus also got 3 of Pentacles for the record. Okay. Where are we now? What's the advice for Cancers based on this energy? What's the advice? Those are your advice cards. Okay. We have 10 of Wands, the Devil. I said to in the other reading that I expect the Devil, the Death card, or the Tower to come out one or all of them in every reading I'm doing. The Star in reverse. Ha! The Death card. And Five of Cups. Okay. How are you leaving this month, Cancer? I'll show you the cards when I'm done, guys. First card. Ooh, Lovers. I like. How are you leaving the month, Cancers? How are you leaving the month? How are you leaving the month? The Lovers, King of Cups. How are you leaving the month, Cancer? One more, two more. Five of Swords, which means I need a clarifier, and there we go. Temperance in reverse. Okay. Let's get into the reading. So Cancer, I'll admit that I was avoiding doing your reading because I was trying to be nurturing to myself and working through my own emotions and supporting myself emotionally, and it's really weird. I'm Cancer rising, and there's a part of your reading in the advice section where I was actually doing the thing that we're going to talk about in our advice section, and that's why you weren't one of the first. I spoil you. You're usually one of the first readings I do, and you weren't this month. But interestingly, it's so weird. It's actually the lesson of of the reading. Pulled your cards and they were fine. I was like, oh, okay. There's nothing for me to feel pulled under for. The Taurus reading has been the most, Taurus and Gemini actually, mad emotional. Just took a lot from me, but you guys this month, we're good, we're sweet, so let's get into it. First cards, what's coming up for you in terms of how you're showing up in your life this month? We have Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Pentacles is earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but always feel strongly Virgo. And Six of Wands. So what I feel is that you are doing a bit of the Virgo thing, the hermity thing, and it's the Cancer thing because you have this shell, but it's coming through in a Virgo way, I suppose. Sorry, excuse me. In terms of retreating into yourself, you know, but not to be emotional, not to sulk. It isn't a kind of like, oh, I'm feeling all these different things and I need to go within myself. You're actually doing a bit more of raw G's move in silence. Like, that's what I'm feeling from you. I'm laughing because I'm like, that's such a compliment to Virgos and I'm a Virgo sun and moon. But I feel like it is that you have retreated in order to work hard. And now you could be working on your emotional self. You could, it doesn't mean it's not an emotional thing, but you are working on something because you feel the energy of what's coming. And I've told you this for months. You are one of the most pathetic signs of the zodiac. So you've been feeling your success coming. You've been feeling your opportunities coming. You've been feeling the shift, but it's not been present. But because it's really upon us now, you're finally in that point where you're like, I'm willing to put the work in. But that's made you quiet. You know, you're not wanting to talk too much about what you're doing. You want to get on with it because, like I say, the success card is here. You know you can be successful right now, Cancer. I think it's really interesting that one of my Cancer followers on Instagram who watches these videos said that this is, you know, the most stable she's been when I was kind of admitting I was avoiding the reading. And I think that's really reflected in your reading. I think this is one of the most stable readings I've seen from you guys. So kudos for doing the work month to month in terms of healing and really listening to the spiritual counsel and advice. But I see you showing up in a position ready to enjoy and embrace and seize the success. You're also, you know that this is next. Right now, Virgo is the mother archetype, and right now you've gone inwards to invest. It's almost like the metaphor of like birthing a baby, let's say. So you right now you're in the gestation or you're in the pregnancy phase, maybe third trimester it feels, but you're still inward, you're nurturing, you're doing the inner growth, you're making sure that things are in order. And you know, the way that the mother starts to nest when she knows the baby's coming, getting the clothes, getting the pram, you know, whatever she needs, you guys are making sure your environment and everything that's going on with you is right, is conducive to what you know is coming, but I don't think you know specifically what it is. It's like a nondescript blessing, but you know something's coming, so you're trying to just cover your bases. But once you do get this success card, the next thing that comes for you is the Page of Pentacles, which is the birth, the baby comes, right? And this is your pentacle here, your pentacle baby. And it's you being ready now to take this out into the world and to work with whatever blessing is being given to you. You know it's an opportunity of some kind. You know it's a gift from God of some kind. And it's you being ready to work. And I see Six of Swords in reverse here. This is the moving on card, moving on mentally, moving on from a difficult period. It's in reverse because I feel like you guys just aren't doing a lot of talking. I don't think that you're having to explain to people or go into detail about what and who and how you're moving on from. You're just in the doing phase. You're doing it. You're moving on from this, you know. I support that. So I pull clarifiers. Whenever I'm very close to an energy, as I am with Cancer and Virgo, I tend to just clarify so that I'm separating out what's my energy and what's the collective energy. So the cards I get was going with the flow. I think you guys are, you know, the third trimester. I've actually not had a baby, so I'm assuming here, okay? But, you know, I feel like it's more the kind of, now you know that the baby's definitely coming, right? It's happening. You're, you know, almost like nature's taken control. There's no stopping it now. You're going with the flow of what's happening, you know, like almost things externally are driving. The baby's deciding when it's coming, all that's going on. And so you're kind of just here for the ride at the moment. Again, the experiencing card. I love this very autumnal kind of card. It's you turning inwards, tending to the self, and just preparing yourself for the shifts and the changes seasonally that's going on in your life. And as if one success card wasn't enough for you, you got as a clarifier success Cancers. Things are good. Okay. Blessings are raining down. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming. You can perceive it. You can feel it intuitively. I've been feeling it. I think in your last reading, I might have mentioned, or it might have been your reading or the Virgo reading, where I said I felt a trickle, but not the downflow of blessings. Well, it's coming. Look, it's coming. So feel content, feel good, feel free. So what's the context for what's happening? That's the next card I pulled. In terms of what you're perceiving and preparing for in your life, I got the Two of Pentacles, decision making. You guys are making a choice right now. You know that you can't divert your energy in too many different directions. See, this one pentacle, you know that there is a level of focus required from you. And so there is a choice to be made, okay? You are choosing between, you know, you're making a choice between pentacles, let's call it for now. So what are the choices you're making? On the one hand, it's the gift from God in form of Ace of Pentacles and the Emperor, okay, beautiful energy. This is taking control. This is taking charge of your life. This is being back in balance, back in your power. This is being a director and a visionary. This is taking what God has given you and creating an empire out of it. This is you just birthing something, you know, not just one baby, but, you know, 10. Okay, so that kind of, I'm going to do it all. Like, I'm going to make something great out of what I've been given. It's that energy, and it doesn't have to be just financial or business. This can be, I'm going to create, you know, a progressive family. I am going to nurture a healthy and whole child. I am going to have a relationship that is world changing, not just, you know, personally changing, but it can be creative. I'm doing business ideas. I'm doing creative projects. I'm doing artwork. I'm, you know, whatever it is, you guys feel it's just being ready to take charge of your true destiny. Or on the other hand, what you're choosing between, Cancer, is continuing to invest in other things and other people that aren't going anywhere. That's the choice you're needed to make, and it's hard. That's really interesting. It's hard this month. It's hard because, it's hard, Cancer, because you're on the cusp of your success, right? You're on the cusp of blessings. You're on the cusp of your freedom. You're on the cusp of your sovereignty and your autonomy. But you're still committed to things. There's still things that you've been, you know, people you've been used to participating with, you know, just things that you've been used to being involved in here, and they're not going anywhere. And this, when I say they're not going anywhere, doesn't mean like, oh, a relationship that's not gonna, is gonna fail, or their person's not treating you right, or business that's gonna fail. That's not what I mean. It's just not part of the next phase of your purpose, not in the same way. I always see this as like the marriage commitment card. So this is like, you can't be married to other things right now. You cannot be. And what's happening is, with this card in reverse, you've been giving, nurturing, loving, caring, giving, and doing the Cancer thing. And it's not going externally. You know, this is, you know, I keep saying, like, it's almost as though it's all contained in here and that's it. You know, it's just your energy isn't multiplied or magnified or circulated in the ways that it needs to here. So this is over giving in a situation in which is not actually nourishing for you. It's not in alignment with like the direction you need to go in your life. And you know there's a choice this month. And it's not, it's a hard choice to make, because this is a good card, you know. This is a foundation. This is something you've invested in. This could be a family. This could be friendships, businesses, love relationships, things that have been nurturing and nourishing to you at some point, or things that you've wanted to build, things you've wanted to create, things you've participated in. This is not, it doesn't feel to me like some terrible, awful, you know, get out of it, it's toxic kind of situation. It's very hard to say no when things are good, you know, like, or I don't even know how to articulate it. It's like, it's hard to say no to things that aren't awful, okay? It's like, it's hard to say no to what's good in order to have what's best for you. You know, there's no rationale of saying, well, this is toxic, or it's just saying, not for me. And that's hard to do. But you need to this month, Cancer. You need to just say, that looks good, that's valuable, that's a, you know, I've appreciated it, but it's no longer for me on my journey. So what's the growth? What's the spiritual lesson you have this month? Page of Cups. This is you over giving, over nurturing. The song that's coming to me is Erykah Badu. I'm an recovering undercover. Man, I used to listen to that song a lot because as a Cancer rising, that was my problem. So this is you not having very much. This is a small cup. And in reverse is your cup being emptied. You've poured out. You don't have much and you're still trying to give from an empty space, Cancer. And you have to stop this. You have to stop putting other people's emotional, particularly other people's emotional needs before yourself. You have to stop nurturing others and thinking that purely in the act of nurturing the other person, you become satisfied. You cannot do that anymore, because Spirit is saying what you're being taught right now is equal partnership. What you're being taught right now is mutual effort. And it's independent too. It isn't like, it's not transactional. It's not I do this for you and then you do this for me. You do this amount, I do this amount. It's actually visionary. The reason that it's an equal, a non-transactional partnership is that you're coming together to build something outside of yourself. Okay, the spiritual house, right? You're coming together to build something, a joint vision that's equally important to you. And you both give what you can according to, you know, your ability to create, right? Your ability to manifest this thing, your ability to see this thing come into fruition. And in truth, this could even be 60-40 effort. I'm gonna put it like this, right? But it's according to your capabilities, okay? And it isn't 60-40 effort to each other. It's not you giving 60 to one person and them giving 40 to you. It's more that it's more giving 60 and 40 to an external thing that therefore nourishes both of you. So even if you're giving 60 to this thing and the other person's giving 40, because you're building something external, you both get 100 back, you know? And the only reason that you're giving, there's any imbalance in the amount is not 50-50, because that's life, right? And we're all positioned differently. We all have different amounts of capabilities in different ways, you know? Let's think about whether you're able-bodied or not. Or, do you know, just in terms of the resources you have access to, like, we're never at this level a playing field. It isn't that. And Spirit hasn't made it that way. All you've got to do is give the amount you're supposed to give according to your intuition, to the thing that, the vision that you're building, and let people give what they're supposed to give to the thing that ultimately is the house that you all live in and are nurtured from. If it's to the other person, if you're giving 60 and they're giving you 40, you will always be in deficit. There will always be deficit in that situation. And the more comfortable that person gets with your 60, their 40 starts to drop to 30, 20 to nothing. And you're upping and upping and upping, thinking, well, you were giving me 40 before and I feel undernourished. If I give you, 70, maybe you'll raise, yours back up again. It's just stop, Cancer. No more, okay? Because I see here the 9 of Cups. And Spirit is saying to you, it's time the lesson you're going through right now is addressing the dissatisfaction in your life, addressing the unhappiness you've had, addressing the lack of emotional fulfillment you've had. But Spirit is saying the reason you're emotionally fulfilled is because you're inviting people to your home and cooking for them and then not eating. Why? You know, you're inviting to your people to your home, they're drinking of these 9 cups and you're going thirsty. It makes no sense. So Spirit is saying this is, you're feeling dissatisfaction because you are not taking from the nourishment you already have, you know. There's a meme online, and I kind of hate memes about, well, I hate memes about, it's like self-love and spiritual growth, because that's just who I am. And I always feel like it's overly simplified in ways that aren't useful to people. But there is a meme that's like, you deserve the love you keep trying to give to somebody else, which I think is quite facetious. But there is a similar principle that I'm sharing here, in that you need to nourish yourself, okay? You can be happy and content in this card because you have 9 cups to drink from, and that's dope, okay? You have 9 cups, and when you are full, Cancer, when you have drank to your contentment, then people can come to your house when you're on a full stomach, not before. So that's your lesson this month. So, advice for you, and coming to me, checking myself a little bit. So here, coupled with the Devil card. And remember I said the Devil, the Devil, the Death card, and the Tarot card. I'm expecting one or all of them to come out in everybody's reading this month. It seems to be heavy themes. So the Devil card here and the 10 of Wands. This is talking about your burdens, your spiritual burdens, and also the burdens that you have decided to take on for yourself, okay? In this context, Cancer, it's you. Like, you have decided you want to carry all this. You're carrying more than and this is a karmic issue for you in the form of the Devil card. It's telling you you cannot, how I'm seeing it, how it's laid out in the spread, is that there are these 2 cards upright, and then the other 3 cards in the reverse. And this is the Gateway card. So Spirit is saying you can't move on to the other things I'm teaching you, the other things I'm giving to you, until you address this karmic issue of over-giving and being burdened more than your fair share. And only you know your fair share, Cancer. Nobody else can dictate to you what your fair share is. No one should say to you, I think you should be able to give, do. That does not matter. You know what you can give and do. And if it isn't according to that person's amount, that's not your business, okay? It's between you and God. You and God have that conversation about, this is what I've been given, and this is what I can give with that. Nurturing myself and then others. So heal this issue this month. Because what you will find in the form of the Star card, Cancer, is that there is a lake for you to drink from. There is eternal renewal, you know. There is a continuous source within you of nourishment. Look, this is the card of renewal. Look at it. And yes, you can take from this lake and you can give to the earth, and vice versa. You know, like there is a I want to say symbiosis, but there's a process going on here. You know, it's circular, cyclical, and you need to find that cyclical nature within yourself. Me first, others after. Me first, others after. You get nurtured when I'm full up, and because I'm full up, you always get nurtured. That's you're not robbing from people by fueling yourself. You're not. In fact, you're actually robbing people more by not fueling yourself, because you're creating a karmic debt in the form of the Devil card. Because what's happening is you're putting them in a position in which they are party to, or they're implicated in your starvation. They're implicated in the shrinking of your soul. They're implicated in the scarcity energy, you know, and that's building a karmic debt for them in which they will have to account for. So don't even, you know, there's no need. Care for yourself, okay? Nurture yourself. And this is the Star card too. It's not just about renewal, but it's also going towards your dreams, okay? So it's saying, yes, like, you will be guided towards the path of your ultimate gifts, your fulfillment, your purpose, by renewing yourself, by, you know, fueling yourself. Okay, so last few advice cards. The Death card in reverse and the 5 of Cups. The reason that you haven't been making the decision to drop the burdens, you know, to put yourself first, is because there is a level of conflict involved in doing this, in releasing this. And there is like... there is a need also to address this. There's two things. It's one, of making other people unhappy, but it's two, it's addressing your own unhappiness, your own struggle to have your own needs met, your own nourishment for people to give to you. And I think you've been avoiding it. Let's say I think we've been avoiding it, doing this, you know, doing the death card, making the endings where the endings need to come, you know, saying no when we need to say no, drawing the line, moving to our next, the next phase of the great things that are before us, because we're afraid of this. Cancer, this is our nature. We avoid this. We know how heavy the waves of emotion can come on, and sometimes we're afraid of drowning. Just like I was afraid of doing this reading and feeling like I was emotionally drowning, and so I avoided it, okay? And we do that. These two cards in reverse is avoiding this, avoiding feeling stuck on the grief and the pain. Clarifier, nothingness, this card is called the void. We are afraid of the void here, Cancer. We're afraid of this. Remember being ruled by the moon? We're afraid of losing the illumination, the light, and being left in the darkness internally, emotionally. We are afraid and we avoid that. We stay in our shell. We protect ourselves. And that shell can be overcrowded with other people who need casting out. But we're so afraid that when we push these people outside of our home, our emotional, mental, spiritual home, when we push them out, Cancer, we're afraid that they will be left in the darkness of that shell. And that all that will be in there as a result is this. But that's it's a fear that I understand, but it isn't founded in a truth, right? And the reason we know that is, you know, the process of this reading. I don't have anything to fear. I came here and actually was fine, okay? And you will find that if you do what you need to do, I'm not saying that it will be without pain. It just won't end here. Sometimes you think the death card is your own obliteration. You think it ends with you being dead. Okay? You think it ends you altogether. It doesn't. The death card is leading to this for you. You got to just choose it. So how do you leave the month? Well, my loves, I think you do well. You can take this advice and go through this process and listen to the lesson Spirit's giving you. You get what you need. The Lovers card. This is the dopest level of equality on an emotional, deep spiritual level. This is getting the partnerships you need. Business, love, marriage, family, whatever it is, friendship. This is getting the people who have the duality to really see you and to give, you know, to give towards the higher path. Like I said, the third energy, not just giving to each other until we burn each other out and find our natural imbalances, but given to the vision that God has given us so that together we all get our needs met, because Spirit doesn't leave you empty. Spirit will not leave you uncared for. Look at this card. Both the feminine and the masculine principles here represented in the Lovers card have two different forms, kind of different earth forms, different trees, plants rising up out of this card, okay? Some of this is Christian symbology in terms of like Adam and Eve in some ways, but just discount that for a minute because that's not what I care about. It's more here, this kind of notion of this being what is the need of the feminine on this side, and this particular plant being the need of the masculine. And in their coming together and listening to the guidance of Spirit in order to create their union, each of them have something planted that nourishes themselves, okay? That's what you're finding. In your connections and your partnerships with others, the ingredients you need to build the tree that nurtures you according to your specific needs, which are not the same as the partner, not the same as the other person. And once you can recognize that and honor that for yourself in nurturing yourself and indicate to Spirit that you know how to give to yourself emotionally, that is reflected out in the world in the form of the King of Cups. And oh, Cancer, do you want this? Do you want a person who is steady emotionally and open and willing to give to you and has enough? The King of Cups is sitting in an ocean of water. Okay, the King of Cups has more than enough to give to you and is willing. That's what you want, and Spirit is saying, leaving this month, you can have it. You can, if you take this advice, you can have it. But there's a difficult path to it. That's life, right? And the difficult path is the Five of Swords. Conflict. People aren't really going to like your decisions, my loves. They're not going to like it. You will have to deal with conflict. The conflict of choosing yourself. You will have to deal with that. You will have to encounter it. You will have to make that choice. And there will be people in the background who will turn their backs on you, and there will be people who will be crying and showing you their wounded self as a result of the choice and the decision that you've made, and you have to let them. That's their life path, that's their spiritual journey, that's their karma. You need to let them cry. Don't listen to the bleating of the wounded animal and run back into that nurturing dynamic. Let them do what they need to do. They're learning their own spiritual lessons. You learn yours. Say no, make your choices. And find that inner balance in the form of the Temperance card, how you're leaving the month. Finding that right harmony of giving and receiving within yourself. Beautiful. We're good. We got this. Okay, we've got this right. I'm excited for next month's reading to see the outcome of all this hard work we're doing. I'm going to make my choices, my decisions, and draw my lines and my boundaries. I want you to do the same. I love you, Cancer. As demanding as you've been this month, I love you. Mwah.